Hey, we are back and we have another series ahead of us. If you didn't tune in, we just have Barrage had a clean 2-0 over NVision Esports in a pretty decisive fashion.
It was rough to watch. As a university fan, someone who's come from the university scene myself.
Someone who's been to university.
Someone who has actually, NVision Esports. It's not just a team, it's a state of mind. Look at your CV. You may already have it. Yeah, I've gone through the university scene. I've come from all those teams. You know those teams that you kind of see at the bottom of National League or the top of their like regionals and go like, oh, that team also exists.
Yeah.
I'm from one of those teams. I'm the kind of guy who you watch get beaten by a better team in the early weeks of Neil. Nice.
So do you put that on your CV?
Yes, I did. I actually said very mediocre run of form in Newell. But we digress. Barrage looked very, very good, and it's going to be scary for whoever comes up against them tomorrow in that winner side of the bracket.
Yeah.
NVision Esports have a day to go away, look at what they did, because yesterday they looked so good when it was against those open teams, those qualifier teams, but Barrage are just a different beast entirely.
Yeah, and because at the end of the day, NVision Esports don't want to put on their CV, they had a very poor run of form in the promotion tournament for the UKLC. You know, it doesn't quite contrast well with that degree that they managed to get. But at the end of the day, both teams will be showing their faces tomorrow. One of them the losers, one of them the winners bracket. But we have another series to show you today. Be sure to get in touch with us, by the way, if you want to let us know how you felt about last game, how you feel about this next one. Our Twitter is get in touch #ForgeChampions or at LVPUKLol. I will have our next match ahead of us, which is Barrage Retirement Home.
Retirement Home Edition.
Yep, against NVision. So NVision, another one of those teams like Barrage that came down from the UKLC in relegations. Barrage Retirement Home surprisingly does have some slight connection to Barrage, but it is, you know, a separate roster. The players own the spot, so there won't be any conflict of interest. They have used Barrage's name, but obviously it is still going to be a competition irrespective of whoever comes to the finals, if it's both of them. But right now, they'll be going up against NVision. And it's a different NVision from the one that we saw in the regular split of the UKLC. They've changed quite a bit of their roster. See some old faces back, some new faces as well, and looking to really challenge these other teams. It's a similar story with Barrage Retirement Home. I mean, they're called that because they have a lot of old faces to the UK scene that if you have been watching for a while, you will recognize.
Yes, and these guys, they know how much risk they're taking coming in with a very veteran roster, but with all this new talent hanging around, going for what is proven, it could be very, very good, or it could be very, very risky. And we saw in Forge Champions, they took Diabolus to 2 hard games.
Yeah.
And Diabolus in Forge Champions were in the final. So I've got high hopes for this Retirement Home roster, but with the same way with NVision, it's a different beast from the one that we saw in the regular season, and they're looking good as well.
Yeah, they definitely look better. I'll say that. I think there's still a ways to go, but hopefully they've spent this time sort of working on their craft and saying, look, we've developed some new strategies. We've sort of shown up our weaknesses. It comes down to which team plays better on the day, and I think both teams have some pretty compelling rosters. You can make arguments for either of them, so it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out. I do feel like Barrage Retirement Home have looked pretty stellar from what I've seen of them. They are really effective in those team fights. I think their mid laner, Vrao, has looked really strong. I think Scoot in the jungle as well. So for me, mid jungle is definitely where I'm looking to watch. And it's just going to come down to execution is the major thing. It was that case in the last game. The execution of Barrage was just something else compared to NVision Esports.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of these teams, they're not... I feel like they're not strictly like we're set on the meta compared to the teams you see at Worlds where like this is the best, this card is this. They're more, this is what we're good at, and we're just going to do it better than you.
Honestly, I like that quite a lot. As we're going to jump straight into our rosters for this one, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see who's playing in this one. Anyone that particularly excites you as we look at these two teams?
Well, over on NVision, we have Artorias, who definitely excites me. Return to old form. Antero in the jungle, Mad My Day in the mid lane, Spark, AD carry, and proper Panda support.
And then over on the other side, we've got Barrage Retirement Home Edition with Governor in the top lane, Scood in the jungle, Vrao in the mid lane, Jackamaka at marksman, and Bartiono at support.
Yeah, so definitely some old names. I've had a lot of experience in the UK scene. I think across the board, everyone has had previous splits experience. And it's a culmination of all these players want to prove that they still have it.
Yes, and they need to prove that they can still do battle on the Rift as well as anyone else. Because some of these players, we've seen on other rosters, even within the UKLC, so within this year, people like Governor, who weren't always the best in their position.
Yep.
But looked very, very solid. I think the way I describe this lineup is a very solid lineup.
Yeah.
And if you saw these guys coming in on the UKLC next split, you wouldn't bat an eyelid.
No, I definitely agree. I think a lot of these names, typical names expecting the UK scene.
Absolutely.
I honestly think it's a well-balanced roster because I feel like the mid-jungle is the really strong point. I think they have the inputs there. They do a lot of work together. Top lane, you have Governor, who I think the typical talking point for him has always historically been reliable.
Yes.
Doesn't really give up too much, but also just be a menace later on, especially when he's playing things like the Ornn in team fights. Bot lane, a little bit more volatile, but honestly, they have looked good. Jakamaka has had moments where he has looked like he could be the next big AD carry. It's not always consistent, but I am more impressed with him than I had been for quite a while.
Yeah.
Bartiono, he was actually put in the roster late. Originally, they had Reclamation, I believe, and then they brought in Bartiono, and honestly, the change hasn't been too big. He fits in pretty well. He's playing these things like the Nautilus and doing pretty solid on them. So a convincing roster. On the other side, it's a bit more... I feel like I'm not as convinced by them. I think there's still some work to be done. I think the bot lane is the bit I'm a bit concerned about because Spark and Proper Panda, they can have really good moments, but there's also moments where I'm a bit questioning. It just doesn't feel like they're on the same page or playing as well as some of the other bot lanes. So it's going to come down to sort of, have they shored up those issues? There's obviously been a long time since we saw them play in the Forge of Champions. A lot of questions, and I guess we'll get the answers in this series.
There are question marks, of course, on both of these rosters, but NVision, of course, I would say they're more untested than anything. I think you know what you're going to get from this retirement home roster for the most part. With NVision, who knows? It's not maybe like the mad scientist throwing random bottles in the air that we've seen from Degree Sports, but there's some experimentation and there's some mixing and swirling in that pot, and we'll see. It's a witch's cauldron because Halloween. But
Oh, it was Halloween?
yeah, well, not today.
That's why they have all this stuff.
I just thought that the team had just left the room for a week and hadn't cleaned.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fair enough. I wouldn't clean either. Imagine what's like after split when we come back next year. It's going to be just cobwebby and
Yeah, they're just going to leave this up.
yeah, this is
Come back next
this
year.
is the normal now. We don't have
We'll come back next year and it's just accentuated. There's more natural cobwebs in place and there's more
a
spiders.
real large spider.
Yeah.
It's gonna freak me out. For all you Elise players out there.
For everyone who's been playing Elise in Legends of Runeterra, who's had access but no longer has access and is now waiting for the 14th of November, and it's really sad because they just want to play Legends of Runeterra and Riot just let me play it.
All those people that Riot don't notice hasn't got the key and is giving it to everyone else, but not certain people.
Well, did you spend 72 hours in a row watching streams to get access?
I left it on overnight, multiple streams. So yes, probably.
Oh, fair. Well, that's just
Riot
unlucky.
just don't like me. I can see why though. Let's move on before I cry because I don't want to do that on camera. So anyway, we're going to get into game hopefully very, very shortly, but I want to see what happens. The bot lane is where I want to focus. This is my idea of, you got Jakamaka, who was a player who was on Barrage.
Yep.
And then he moved down, he got dropped from Barrage. He's gone on to this retirement home roster and is looking pretty good. And he was playing with Fastleg, who also had a resurgence, but on Barrage.
Yeah.
And they're coming up against Spark and Propanda. Propanda, he's pretty veteran. He kind of built this roster almost. And
Yeah. Even went undercover for a bit of time.
he did. If you can read the story from Panda going undercover, I highly recommend it. It's a little long, but it was kind of like he's some secret agent coach coming in, finding these talents, and then bringing them into the UKLC.
And then he confirmed he blew everyone away. It's like Tesco meal deal is Proper Panda. And everyone's like,
what? No,
who's Proper Panda? No, I'm joking.
that's toxicity. Also, Tesco meal deal, by far the best meal deal. Don't at me.
But what is in fact, tweet at us and let us know. What is your ideal Tesco meal deal?
All right,
I've asked this before. We got a few responses.
I've actually got this on lock, okay? Real talk. So, sandwich. We're not messing around with sandwich. We're going wrap, okay? We're hitting up the hoisin duck wrap.
Oh, big fan.
It's pretty big. And then you got the snacks. Sweet chili sunbites.
Okay.
It's rogue. Or the popcorn. I can go either way, but usually it's the sunbites.
I do like popcorn.
And then this is the thing that the office always get mad at me for. At the Tesco near my house, you know the cafe lattes that you can get, like the cold coffees?
Yeah.
There's a bigger size that's £2.50. You can get in the meal deal, pretty much only at the Tesco by my house. So I get £2.50 worth of coffee for £3. with the wrap and the crisps.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of coffee in general, especially cold coffee. That sounds
Iced
really...
coffee's good. Okay.
You couldn't pay me to drink that.
If not that, I would go for the Coke Vanilla.
Okay, fair. Well, let me know if you have something better that can best
Yeah, well, you
Will's
can't.
meal deal.
Come at me, bro. Let's go. We're in Champ Select, though, ladies and gentlemen. Cassiopeia taken off the board immediately with Yasuo. They saw Handsome on it, and they don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, so you wanted to highlight the bot lane. For me, I want to highlight mid jungle. I think for any game, it's a massive catalyst. We've seen the likes of G2. As soon as they free up caps, you can move the bot lane, move the top lane.
Yeah.
I expect this here from Barrage Retirement Home. Vrao and Scood, massive force together. They both played games on Talia, which is such a headache for these side lanes if either one are on it. So that's what I'm looking for, and it's whether Antaro and Mad My Day can counteract that. And very quickly going through bans, we see Cassiopeia, Veigar, Yuumi banned away. A lot of champions that can shut down a team, a lot of peel, a lot of disengage. On the other side, NVision taking away that Pantheon unexpectedly, and then you saw as well.
Thank you for banning Veigar. That champion is the most broken champion in the game.
It's not,
but we won't dwell on that too much. Just get rid of it. Diana being taken away. That's quite an interesting ban.
It's a Vrao special.
Is a Vrao?
Yeah, so it's focused specifically at him. But that does leave open the Xayah, which you saw banned away both games in the series earlier today. And potentially, Zyricon available for Jacomac and Bartiona would be a pretty solid bot lane matchup. Now, NVision, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Kai'Sa as an answer to this. The question is, what else do you want to put together in your composition?
Rakan is
actually going to take Syndra, potentially this Nautilus, which, honestly, it's a pretty strong rotation. Syndra has flexibility to go bot lane or mid lane. It is a strong pick on its own self. It can find prior pretty easily. Has these massive power spikes when it hits level 9 and maxes a Q, level 11. Really powerful pick, but again, it can be flexed. You see the Nautilus, though, for proper Panda, something that we see so much of typically in Worlds, in the UK scene, just so much CC, so much bulkiness, and likely to see the Zyricon. Now the question comes down to, what will Barrage Retirement enhance with? I feel like it may well be, it could either be a top laner, because Governor likes to take his safe tops.
Yes.
Or it could be a jungler,
there is.
which, it's the Elise. I don't think you take mid lane here until you know where the Syndra is going. Now NVision, the standard here would be the Kai'Sa, but if they want to keep the Syndra flex available more, I would expect to see a jungler. But I think they might just go for the Kai'Sa bot lane because it's expected to be banned away if he gets left here. So they have Kai'Sa Nautilus, which, you have the lovers duo. I feel like Kai'Sa Nautilus has almost gone hand in hand with it as the counteracting matchup in this meta. And now comes to the second rotation. So we know that Syndra is going mid. That means NVision are in a position where they could ban away counters, or they could take some things off the board like Governor's Ornn, potentially.
Yes.
They will start trimming away Vrao's champion pool with the Akali, and now Barrage, they can ban away junglers, they can ban away top laners. They have their pick.
I would like to see the Ornn being banned away, but we did see Governor play a very nice Scion in the games yesterday. Of course, we did manage to get and have a little watch of those just before we came on to cast. So I would like to see the Ornn taken away. He's such a strong pick. It's such a great teamfight tool, and you need to be careful of that because he's the kind of player who... Ornn's quite a low-key champion, but he can do a lot of damage in lane. And in later game teamfight, you look to me like...
What do you mean by low-key champion?
Like, you look at an Ornn top. Like, you go into game, you see an Ornn, you're like, okay, there's an Ornn in this game. But then he'll come in and be like... I
don't know. I see an Ornn and I'm like, he's just going to sound the horn and just ult you from a mile away. I think for me, particularly when you're playing the likes of a Syndra, it's a massive issue because it's almost impossible to miss.
Yes.
With the immobility, but instead they're actually opting to get rid of the Camille, which would be a flex, but is something that Governor will play. Obviously, we have said he's lent on tanks, but he will play that Camille. Kha'Zix and Rek'Sai banned away from Antero, and he's potentially going towards that Jarvan, which is a pretty effective pick against the Xayah, because obviously you can ult up in the air, but you can't get out of that Cataclysm, and then it's very easy after that to follow up with the Scout of the Week or something similar. And now Barrage get to round out their composition. So they picked up this Elise, but actually Kiana is open and available. And that, to me, seems like the textbook sort of pick for Vrao. Really strong level 3 jungler to synergize with the Elise. I would just love to see that right now. Ornn, top lane for Governor, not too unexpected for that to come through.
I wouldn't hate the Talia here either.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. But to me, like Kiana here, I'd be a massive fan of. But in the end, they're going to go for the Kayle. So a lot less presence in the early levels. They're very heavily leaning on Scoot here on this Elise.
Yes.
It does give a ton of scaling to this composition. Ornn, Kayle as a rotation is like, we're going late game. But at the end of the day, they are up against the likes of a Kai'Sa on the other side, and now it's up to Artorias. Does he want to answer with something like, I don't know, a Fiora, which can be a threat in the side lane if it goes late? That's going to be the question. But instead, he is going to opt towards that Gangplank, which has been a staple blind in this meta. Can pretty easily handle a lane against the Ornn, and then the ult, a massive factor in those team fights, and also helping your team across the map.
Yeah, I like this pick, obviously, the Fishbowl with the J4 as well, but looking at these two compositions just before we get into the game, what do you like the most about each composition, and what do you dislike the most about each composition?
So the thing I like the most about Barrage Retirement Home is they have a ton of scaling. It's not just exclusively scaling, but if you go late in the game, it's a massive concern to have all these champs you're dealing with.
Yeah.
The thing I don't like is the fact that they picked this Elise, a strong level 3 champion. I would have loved to see a Kiana with it. It's a massive team fighter, and on top of that, it means your jungle mid duo is just so powerful. On the other side of NVision, the thing I like the most is the fact that across the board, I feel like they have picks that have agency early. They have the likes of the Gangplank and assist the team, and everything else is pretty aggressive. My concern is that they let things like the Ornn go open, and you're playing a Syndra into Ornn Rakan. That is not going to be a fun time because you're on an immobile mage, and it's going to be so difficult for Mad Dages to position consistently.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to be really on his toes this game, because if Syndra can get going, your ults delete people.
Yeah.
And you can do so much with your stun and so much with your damage, but if you get caught out by all this CC early, or even if you're not careful, one team fight, you can be as fed as you want, but one team fight where you're deleted immediately,
You just get bounce housed.
that could well spell game, because in the late game stages of games, you see times where one champion will be picked off, and then the game is basically won. And Syndra is going to be a really core part of this machine that has been built by NVision, and if he gets deleted by bounce, horn.
Yeah, all it takes is a good flank from the Rakan, some follow-up damage, and it's very easy to take that Syndra down. And then it's a massive part of your team composition falling down. And the thing is, the Syndra not only is strong in and on itself, but provides a lot of appeal for the team. Her being able to use those Scatter the Weeks to sort of stop the engage.
Yeah.
It's like if you come in from one direction against this team, you're going to have difficulty. But as soon as you put a flank into the works, it's going to be so difficult for NVision's composition to survive. But I feel like that's pretty typical of both compositions, because obviously Xayah, she wants the feathers to go in one direction. A flank could be massive. But to me, it's going to very much decide on the junglers. You have an Elise who is stronger earlier, I would say, by far. She is the pre-6 jungler, as I always say. How much impact do you have in pre-6? On the other side, yes, it's a Jarvan, who is obviously a strong early jungler, but you also have the Syndra in mid lane. And that's the difference, is that I feel like you have the stronger early jungler for Barrage Retirement Home, but the mid jungle duo is better on the other side. And if they can unlock the Syndra to move with the Jarvan, I feel like NVision could take this early game and transition into a strong mid game.
Yeah, we are about to jump into this one, ladies and gentlemen, as the deer looks over the rift. We are into the first game of this series as we see NVision taking on the Retirement Home for that second spot in the winners bracket. Of course, they will go on to face Barrage, who are already there, and the loser will come in to try and take on Degree Sports for their place to contest the last spot in the UKLC. A little bit of a dance party mid.
Why not?
Well, Vrao doesn't really dance. Kale's not a big dancer. Are we going to get the ward?
Oh, he was so smart. He threw the flag down for the extra attack speed to kill it. And it's just not enough. That's sad. It's sad to see. But it does mean that they'll now be aware for Antero starting. I expect red side starts is going to be typical of both teams, because you obviously want that priority on getting going as soon as possible. But it looks like Scoot might just head over and pick up his blue first. Obviously, not wanting to force his Xayah Rakan bot lane to leash is a pretty big factor. And it also means that if you are looking to play around bot side, you have a bigger advantage there. But now Proper Panda places a ward down in return. So both junglers should be pretty easy to track their pathing.
Yeah, I think we haven't seen anything too crazy in terms of jungle pathing today, which is, that's the norm. That's why it's considered crazy if they do this kind of stuff. But starting top side, getting that red buff, you're not going to force your Xayah Rakan, you're not going to force your Kai'Sa and your Nautilus to really get a push on. Of course, Kai'Sa and Nautilus did stay out of vision for a little bit of time, trying to get a bit of a smart play, but it will be thrown away almost instantly as J4 moves into that vision over that ward that was placed top.
But I do feel like level 1 anyway, the Kai'Sa Nautilus does have to respect Zyricon.
Yes.
Obviously, weaker than when it was first released, when they had those the insane level 1 with the double W, but still pretty threatening. Propaganda and Spark just happy to sit back. And now Antero has crossed over the side of the map. And, you know, something I expected was that Scood would go for a blue straight into his red side jungle. Just for higher priority and hitting that level 3 and gank and bot. But he's instead gone for a full clear on this Elise. And as a result, his red's just been stolen away.
And he doesn't even know it's gone yet. Pings are coming down, which maybe suggests that they do. But Antero now might be looking for this gank level 2. Jakamaka and Bartiono are quite extended. Will Antero pull the trigger? Doesn't look like he's going to want to. All we know he is moving into the lane right now. Jakamaka, Bartiono. The level 2 has been hit as Jakamaka will have to flash to not be knocked up. But the root comes down onto Bartiono. He's going to go low. The flash forward with the anchor. Bartiono burning down, but will not survive.
They both go down.
They both go down. NVision picking up 2. One for Spark and one for Propaganda.
Played so well. The flash was burned from Jakamaka. And honestly, Bartiono, a little disrespectful going for that knock-up. Propaganda roots him. The follow-up is there, and Scood, he turns up missing his red buff, just there to watch as his teammates go down. And I mean, this is a big concern for me. Mad My Day is just crushing this matchup so far.
And he's going to need to if he wants to get going and really dominate his Kayle post 6 as well, because it's going to be difficult when Kayle gets range to if you're in an equal position. Kayle can do very well, but Governor looking for something, but Artorias is just backing him away, using that sword to just keep the Call of the Forge God at bay.
Yeah, playing around Grasp is pretty instrumental when both top laners have it, but Gangplank should come out ahead. Being able to use that Trial by Fire passive, definitely massive in winning those trades out.
I missed that event, you know, the Bilgewater event. Do you remember when they killed Gangplank?
Yeah.
Like, they flat out, you couldn't play him because he was dead. This was years ago. Like, there will be a lot of players who didn't witness this, but you couldn't pick Gangplank in the game because in the lore, he had been killed. I'm using inverted commas because, of course, he was.
And then everyone got a free skin.
Yeah, everyone got a free skin who played in that event.
Yeah, pretty.
Now Riot can't just give out free skins just like all the time.
I mean, they just did a 10-year anniversary, and you got free skins if you played. Oh, engage comes in.
Propaganda looks for a lot of damage down there as Ro's going to go low, forced to flash away, but Antero on the side might be able to get enough damage to get the kill as Rao is looking to return it. Antero, that was not the optimal path out of there, and he will go down. 1-1 trade, not the best, but not the worst.
So consider this, okay? They don't go for that dive. V-Rao is 0 HP on a tower. If he stays, he dies. If he doesn't, they just get a ton of plates. I feel like that's just over-aggressive and unnecessary. Now, Scood, you're deep in enemy lines.
Does get the cocoon on as we're going to see Spark.
Nautilus is here.
But Scood is going to run straight into Propaganda. Will be using that repel. But where's he going to go down? Goes down immediately onto Spark. He was going to get knocked up. Man by Day flashed over the wall to get the first kill onto Scood. Now Bartiono in a bad position. Antero will be able to help pick up that one. Spark with the kill credit. And there's no love lost in this bot lane.
I don't understand the play because they could have waited for Propaganda to return, but instead they go for that dive. And it's like, I just feel like Scood didn't respect the fact that the other team would react and try and shut him down. And again, it's having the Syndra mid lane. You can move that mid laner down to make a difference. And this is why I was saying I wanted the Kiana. I wanted something that can be aggressive, make an impact. And especially when, for me so far, Vrao has been the star player of the roster. Put him on something that does something before level 6, but instead, they put him on the kill, and now we said they had the late game, but this shouldn't be your win condition at 6 minutes in the game.
No, and the Dragon goes down as well. That's going to be the Mountain Drake for NVision, which is obviously very nice. Vrao has now just hit 6 with Bartiono and Scood in support. Man My Day forced to back off, so nice respect here. This is one we haven't seen too much of today, but knowing I'm just going to back away, I don't want to get involved right now.
Something, you know, I didn't expect to see today is Spark and Propaganda honestly popping off. I've had my questions, I've had my concerns for them. They're against a veteran bot lane in Jakamaka and Bartiono who have a lot of experience playing together, not just on this roster, and honestly, so far they're crushing them. Antero has been a big part of that, but got to give props to Spark and Propaganda in this match so far.
You could say you have to give prop a Pandas.
Oh, I couldn't say that.
I mean, it was there, it was open. It's a bit low-hanging fruit, but you know, Scooty's going to be taking this risk goal. But Antero looks for the fight. Is going to be going straight in onto that spider and going to be trying to get the damage down. But Scoot's actually feeling a little bit confident with Rao in support, speeding up with that heal, try and get involved. The honey fruit will be eaten, but it might not be enough. Antero may have overstepped as Governor looks to target.
Oh, no.
Call of the Forge God will knock him up, and the killer's going to be handed over to Scoot on that Elise. Very nice rotation there from Retirement Home. They're showing that they're not just going to lie down and take this one easily.
Priority is key, and it was something Antero didn't have when he wanted to contest that scuttle. Oh, Engage comes in.
Proper Panda is going to be going low, not that tanky yet, and will probably go down. The Ignite is burning. Here comes the heal. The ultimate from Artorias up in that top lane will stop any further engagements, and he gets out alive, but that was maybe a bit of an overextension there from the North.
I mean, both of them went really low. Barciono stayed pretty long to take that full burst combo from Spark. Maybe better placement on that Cannon Barrage, and the Void Seeker at the end connecting, he would have gone down. Either way, though, both teams pushing their limits here. It has slowed down a little bit. 2,000 gold lead for NVision still. They have that Mountain Dragon advantage as well. And we can see most of that gold lead is just coming from the 80 carry difference. Yeah. A little bit from support as well, which obviously isn't going to be the biggest issue, but Zaya, 1,000 gold, and it will 800 up. And now, good
flashes, misses the cocoon though, and the damage is going to be returned. The repel will be used up as the ultimate from Brow will come down and kill Mad My Day. And Terror is there though for the return killers, now looking to cut down Brow, but here comes Barciono just to make sure that it's a 2-for-1 trade for Retirement Home. Prop Panda's running in with his Moby boots, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get a kill, and they're just going to back away.
Solid play coming out from Barrage, and they have the roam from Barciono to secure it. Honestly, would have gone potentially even now, even in favor of Antero if he managed to ult reroute at the end. Barciono shows up to turn it around, and now Proper Panda, you gotta be a little bit careful staying alone mid lane by yourself. I think he's just trying to hold the wave for when Mad My Day arrives.
Yeah, let's get a bit of a slowdown on those minions and just keep them out of tower range for a little bit of time, just so his mid laner can come and not lose out on any of that farm, which is always nice to see. We're going to move back to Spark and Jack and Macro, of course. This is where the difference has been so far for these teams. The Governor, once again forced away from Artorias, who's having a pretty good time on his gangplank.
I mean, he's just happy farming up, but to be honest, both of these champions happy to scale. They're going to be monsters later on. I feel like the Ornn offers a ton to his teammates as well, and he's got some pretty handy teammates to give items to in the terms of a kill and a Zai. But now Proper Panda, not a good spot.
Once again, you don't want to be clearing vision in that bush, as we do see a pause coming through just on that engage. It looks like we do have a disconnect, so we'll have to see what that's all about as we will jump out of that one. But
I like Proper Panda's getting a little over aggressive there, stepping up a bit too far, and consistently they're landing CC on him. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Nautilus is another one of those champions that when he's behind, he feels like paper.
Yes.
But when he's ahead, he actually feels pretty bulky. He has gotten a lead. I was talking about how he's 700 gold up. It's just going to be spent on more HP or in those early levels, more armor, more MR. So he's holding up pretty well despite getting jumped on. But now, I mean, I think the state of it is you've seen him survive that initial engage. You've seen Antero heading over. It might end up being a volatile play bot lane because we are yet to see the first tower. We haven't seen too many plates come in either.
Yeah, so gold. There's a lot of standing gold in this game. As we do jump back into the play, we're going to see the root coming down onto Proper Panda. But it looks like NVision are just going to be able to disengage quite well. But Governor might want to get this fight onto Artorias. He does get the knock up, but Artorias 8 oranges, so it's fine. He's going to be able to just survive out of that one, and Governor is going to be forced back.
Yeah, now Artorias, he's nearly got his ult available. He's forced Governor back, and he had to use his ult. He's in a pretty healthy position on this gangplank, especially as he's gone this cold to farm up. Got to be careful because V-Route is coming over.
Looks like they might actually want to get some fighting on top as Mad My Day will be clearing out this mid lane. Getting that shot on. Hasn't rotated with the Kayle, but might be starting to look going up there right now. Scoot, gotta get that risk goal.
What I'll say, if that was a Moby Boots Kiana right there, Artorias would be dead. That's all I'm saying.
So you are not gonna let us go, are you?
No, I'm not. Never will. But we see Next Dragon is a cloud, not the highest priority in it, so a very quick swap coming in from NVision where they're moving Spark up towards the Rift Herald, and already the controller's starting to come in. The answer has been made by Barrage Retirement Home, but for now they're actually sending their bot lane to cover mid first and foremost. Big thing is, so TP available for Artorias, and critically his ult is up. No TP for Governor, no ult either. So he's going to be pretty slow on trying to assist his team.
And with the ultimate, of course, coming from Gangplank, he can make pressure bot while also being involved in the team fight, which is something that Governor at this distance just can't do. Now we're going to see the Rift Herald is going to be started up. They haven't got vision of it, as Propaganda is going to look to just ward them away, but might be in trouble. Going to be forced away with those low boots. He's pretty speedy, so we'll be able to get out of that one pretty safely. As Antero, he's going to be pretty happy to solo-less as things stand, but Jakamaka coming in from the side. They've got a wide open gate to come and contest this if they decide to. Jakamaka will spot him, but it looks like they just want to defend this top lane tower. We'll be able to engage straight onto Sparkus Brow, get some damage down. Here comes the ultimate from Artorias though, once again slowing and stopping the play in its tracks. That is such a crucial time to use that ultimate.
And all in all, no summon is used from Spark, which is a pretty healthy trade there. And in return, they're throwing the Herald down mid. A lot of plates going to go down, and Rao is just routed here.
Yeah, he's not in lane. He's going to be coming back just now, but he might not even want to be there. Scoot's coming in for support, but he's already half health as Ralph will take an ultimate. He's going to use his own ult as the captain to fall. First tower will go down, but Antero now the one in trouble. That's a great reaction from the retirement home. We'll be able to pick up a double kill, and that's a great response from the retirement home. They do lose first blood, but they pick up 2 in return.
Just a bit disrespectful opting to go for Vrao in that situation. You know he has the ultimate. He's buying time for his team. Unfortunately, we have another pause. I think one of the players, I'm guessing Governor, because we keep seeing him disconnecting. We have some internet issues. But yeah, I mean, it was a good play to go for the tower, but they could have just taken the plates and backed away. They committed 100% for the tower. They should have seen the fact that they were being collapsed on. They knew that the priority was on the side of Barrage Retirement Home, the top side, because they just went for that aggressive play and forced your bot lane back. So they're overzealous, but got to give credit to Bartione. He's the one who's constantly there turning these plays around. He turned up at the end of that play just to secure it, to ensure that it was going to be a clean 2-for-0. He was there in that earlier mid lane play to help pick up the kill on Antero. So he's been a big catalyst. And although there's been a lead on the side of Proper Panda, he hasn't really been making moves around the map other than just helping his lane out.
Yeah, we're going to see this one again. So talk me through this, Ox.
So for me, it's like they don't land the knock-up on Vrao. He ults the Syndra ult, which just cuts through all the damage. And then at this point, it's 3 members against 2. There's nothing you can do. Jarvan and the Syndra are very much about burst, isolating the target and just blowing them up. They weren't able to do that to the Kayle because of the Divine Intervention, and as a result, they just flopped. And they, honestly, it's still probably a pretty neutral, maybe even favorable play. I'm going to say neutral, because they already got the Herald. The fact that they used the Herald to trade mid tower for 2 kills, it's definitely on paper nice, because you get the mid tower.
Yes.
You get the first tower blood, you get all those plates. But the fact that they gave 2 kills over for free, and they already had used the Herald on that, I'm going to say it should have been better, you know?
Yes.
Considering it's still probably a positive play, but considering what it could have been, you know, a little bit disappointing. And I think it's just lack of respect for the rotations coming out from Bartione, which is what happened earlier, what's happened here as well. But I'm happy to see it, because my big criticism was that in the mid lane, you could have taken Kiana Elise. You could have had the stronger 2v2. You opted not to. They have the stronger 2v2. But their answer to this has been to consistently bring Bartione, because what beats a 2v2?
3v2.
3v2. If they're going to bring 2 members of Jarvan and Syndra and you bring 3, you're always going to have that advantage. And Rakan is one of those champions that it's very difficult to play when he shows up against, because he has that CC on his ultimate available. He has extra shielding and healing, which means if you're playing the likes of a Syndra and you're trying to burst through someone, that can be the difference maker.
Absolutely. We are back into game. If you haven't noticed, ladies and gentlemen, we are now watching League of Legends on your...
Or something similar.
Or something similar on your screens, or... No, it is screens. We're not a radio broadcast just yet, but you know how it could be. Propaganda looking for an engage straight onto Governor. But Governor's pretty beefy. He might be able to get out of this one. Antero and Spark, though, looking to put down the hurt. The flash will come out from the on to keep him alive. Scoot in the wings just in case the dive did come through. But he's got to be careful now. Scoot has backed off a little bit. Man My Day is looking to contest as well. So this tower, they're going to be losing plates. It could even potentially go down if there's no response.
Yeah, it's a good play from NVision. I said that getting the tower mid was a pretty favorable one. Kayle not going to TP in.
I don't know about that TP. The flash is going to have to come out instantly. Cool, the Forge God will be able to knock up just the one. Propaganda going golden. They're going to look to get the tower down so they can fight this on their own terms. Nice double knock up there as Governor is going to be stunned up. Rao might be the first one to go, though. Quickly followed, and I don't know about that play.
Yeah, beautifully played from the side of NVision, by the way. The stopwatch from Proper Panda was flawless, but Rao What were you doing?
Artorias flashing aggressively forward. Forced the back away.
It was pretty close. It forced the heal, but maybe not optimal. But it's a difference maker. You know, you see Artorias, top lane. I don't think they got any plates there. He's just going crazy on this pirate, willing to fight them off. But on the other side of the map, not only do NVision get the tower, they get 2 free kills to boot, and there was a shutdown on Varao. They're coming out huge here right now.
And there's the Dragon as well. That is the Cloud Drake they've picked up, of course. Not the highest priority. Ocean Drake next on the docket as well, so not the best Drake RNG, but they're free for you to take at this point if you're NVision, so you might as well pick them up.
And honestly, this is a completely different team to the one we saw in the regular season. They are just performing so much better. There's definitely still some criticisms. The mid jungle has not been quite on form this game. Some costly mistakes, particularly from Antero. But the bot lane, this is not a different bot lane. This is the same bot lane. And they've just been playing so well. And we'll get a replay of them trying to go top. And I understand that they want to try and put some aggression in, but no man on the Zaya means you just have to back off. And then
Cancels back as well. Does manage to get a nice knock up. A lot of resources being used here, though, as Artorias is able to just walk away, and now we'll start chasing them back down the lane. This is where he picked up with them after that fight, and just putting down the hurt. This is where Artorias goes a little bit aggressive and gets the flash, but...
yeah, I mean, it was... they just didn't have the tools. They weren't on a good reset timer because Jackamak had no mana. There was no way they could counteract the play coming in bot from NVision. And instead of Varao going, I'm going to try and assist the team top lane, he TP'd bot into a 2v4 situation and just died. So pretty rough. And now we see NVision, you know, 4,500 gold up. Kai'Sa looking really strong. We have this level 11 available for the Syndra, so 2 points in her ultimate. Got that max Q, the Dark Sphere, for the bonus damage. We're seeing Artorias nearly complete this call and will likely have his Triforce then. Just the team's in a really good spot, and yes, there's always going to be that little, okay, retirement home have the scaling advantage. They've got the likes of Isaiah, Kale, and Aeon. I mean, to be honest, it's not that clear-cut in terms of scaling. I mean, they have some nice scaling champions, but there's still a lot of strength in NVision even as we get later in the game and the sorts of a Kai'Sa and the Gangplank. So it is just honestly on retirement home to wait it out until they feel more comfortable at item breakpoints. Maybe Ornn upgrades a couple items, starts handing things out, and good way to get towards that, taking a tower on the bot lane.
Yeah, it's a nice little trade there for Kale. You want this Kale to be getting to those items, as you say. But NVision, they're setting up Vision around this top side of the jungle. They're going to look to get the siege on mid. Governor's the only person there right now to defend, but a quick response from Jackamaka and others will likely dissuade any kind of siege.
And Governor just really is not in the position to tank NVision right now, because Kai'Sa at this point is mostly dealing a ton of AP damage because of a passive when she's going up against a tank.
Yes.
You have the AP damage coming up from Mad My Day, and Governor's exclusively built armor right now. So in terms of tanking in a team fight, he would go down pretty quickly. And I feel like, again, it's waiting for item breakpoints for the side of retirement home. Baron is going to be up in another 3 minutes or quite a while. Next dragon is the Ocean, which, again, you're happy to give up. I think it's just a matter of, if you can find advantage, it's great. But if you can't, just keep the game going at a slow pace until you're confident.
Yeah, they're setting up for something now. Retirement home looking to get a play where they know that there's not vision from NVision, but there's no reason for anyone to be moving to those bushes right now. Prop Panda might well be the target. He's the most easily accessible. Governor coming in from the other side. This could be a big flank as they're going to look for the engage. Prop Panda will be able to get the anchor out. Nothing is going to land, and resources burnt.
Why did they open with the Ornn Horn? You're out of vision, right, with the Rakan. Just press R, wait for the half-second delay, flash W, and there's no counterplay. Proper Panda didn't have flash, and then you can body block the hook.
Well, there's the overstep, though, and they do manage to pick up the kill that they set up a little while ago, but
still, I mean, they get the kill for free because Proper Panda oversteps, but, I mean, if you use the Ornn Horn, the other team's just going to go, oh, I guess they're trying to engage, just run away.
Moving for a bit of a fight in the top side, Artorias and Governor back at it again. Scoot looking to break this one up, but Gangplank's having a pretty free run at this lane right now.
Yeah, he's got his Triforce now, he's in a pretty strong spot, and across the board, these are some big spikes for NVision. We have now the full pen coming out from Mad My Day with the Oblivion Orb and the Sork Shoes. And Spark, Ginsu's and the Mirror Mana, plus a little bit more attack speed, likely will have that evolve on the Supercharge to go invisible. All that the Kai'Sa really needs now is just the upgraded Mirror Mana and will be in a great spot. Picked up the Stin as well, yeah, definitely will have it now.
Yeah, absolutely, and already looking very, very strong. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Spark and Propaganda, we've had questions about in this bot lane, but this game, they're looking very, very on point. Propaganda did have that little overstep, but other than that, playing to the limits, but being on the right side of those limits 9 out of 10 times.
They've just been better than the bot lane of Barrage Retirement Home, which, you know, Jackamak and Barciano have never been like in contention for best bot lane in the UK, but they've been around for quite a while. And it is pretty surprising this to happen, but it's all credit to them. But Engage coming in.
Here comes the fight. Really nice Engage coming in. It's going to be the instant deletion onto Scoot. I don't know if they're going to be able to grab anyone else as the ultimate is used by Jackamaka, and Barciano dances his way to freedom. But a very, very nice quick pick from NVision sets them up for Dragon.
Yeah, pretty comfortable one of that too. They take out Scoot and this Elise. It didn't have the greatest early game. There were some moments where he brought it back, but now you're playing a champion who's just becoming more and more useless as time passes.
Yeah, now top lane. Minions will be crashing into it. You can see Artorias making a beeline. Got a bit of a bleeding nose because, you know, he's been away from top lane for more than 30 seconds, so can't be having that. Has to return to pick up that farm as the rest of NVision looking to maybe reset and spend some of that money.
NVision now posturing towards the Baron area. Actually just going for a bit of a reset there. I want to see, well, they give it a window over here to Barrage to push up.
Yeah.
They'll start to cut down on some of the vision in this area. And then it's going to be on NVision to, once they've reset, you can see Proper Panda heading over with a full inventory of wards to contest. But Mad My Day, actually, he's just looking to hold up on the vision, not giving any windows to Barrage Retirement Home. It's risky because Jarvan's not here. If a fight breaks out, NVision would be in trouble, but they're not aware of this.
And the Cocoon will land, which might force the fight out, but Mad My Day and Prop Panda just able to step away from that one, meaning that they're not going to be looking for anything right now. I say Antera is now in the neighborhood, so a fight can very well be on the cards.
That should have been a situation where Barrage were able to clear out the vision and get control of the Baron area, but just the confidence coming out from Mad My Day to not give up any ground despite being down in numbers, it paid off. And now Retirement Home are trying to sneak in and get some vision, but you can't contest it now. This is not the time.
Antero gets the knock up onto Scoot, and here comes the fight. The repel is used early to avoid the ultimate, but now the Cataclysm is up. Gold on Antero as people start going invulnerable. Governor has turned up to the fight, but Vrao is the first to fall. On getting a nice knock up onto Spark immediately after the ultimate, but he will be able to trade himself at least 1-for-1 as he picks up Scoot. He's going to look to get away. Double kill onto Governor, and he survives. Excellent play from Spark as Jackamak and Barciano are the only ones left. They can't win a 2v5. Baron is the call. Will the contest be successful? They're looking for it. They're weighing up their options. Barciano is going to be stunned though. A lot of damage taken. He's going to be forced to jump away. Artorias will pick him up, and Jackamaka is the last standing. Spark goes very low. Jackamaka gets away, but this is definitely Baron for NVision.
Absolutely huge play coming out, and I mean, I said it, Mad My Day held the pressure up.
Yeah.
Barrage wanted to contest the vision, but it was too late. Antero was back, and as soon as he pulled the trigger on the engage, it was just a wipe.
And NVision have just been so clinical this game. This is not the NVision that you know from summer. This is a different roster. They're clean. They know how to make these team fights happen, and they take objectives. They've got 5 members with Baron right now, and Spark, he's just a different creature.
This just wasn't the fight that you're in a position to take, and there's some key elements which caused them to last a long time. Barciano creates a lot of distraction in the backline. The Kale buys so much, but Jackamaka wasn't even doing anything this entire fight. Governor just joined now. Jackamaka hasn't even done a single auto attack. You were never going to win this fight, but it was NVision who started it, but it was as a result of Barrage Retirement Home, their actions. They were the ones who instigated it by trying to contest the vision, and they paid for it dearly.
Yeah, they did. They paid for it with Baron, and now the sieging will be on. As you said in the last series, can NVision break open the outer layer of towers, or the inner layer of towers, so that the base is the next opportunity with the next Baron? They've got only 3 towers on the board right now, but I can see them getting a lot here.
For me, like a decent metric when you get the Baron in most states is that you break all these 3 towers outside the base. That is like, you know, you're doing fine. That's expected. And then the next Baron, you can break the base and potentially get the game. But when Vrao randomly dies like that, it suggests to me that maybe it's going to be more than that. And when you start cracking on the inhibitors, you maybe get an inhibitor too. That is a different story. And that is when the other team is just bleeding. But they are now looking for Mad My Day.
Mad My Day might have overextended on his own. Prop Panda is running down as fast as he can, but there's too much damage there. Scoot's going to pick up the kill. We'll be able to repel. The ultimates are not meant to be targeted onto that spider, as Bartiona will fool Jakamaka, and Scoot will be forced to run away or fight. They might be looking for the fight as Antero jumps in onto Scoot, who will go down, trying to keep him out of the base for as long as possible. A double route will help with that. Antero just shepherding him away with these minions. Actually might be looking for the fight, but I'm not so convinced that you're spending your time wisely. Artorias, on the other hand, he's getting a siege in top.
I'm glad to see that the bot lane decided to continue and go for this tower. That goes down. This inhibitor, I don't think Varao can contest. He does have his ult actually available. Zai will go down off screen. This inhibitor should be gone.
Yeah, this will go down, and we can actually see a bit of a fight as Artorias and Governor are punching each other in the top lane. The Call of the Forge God will be used, but it won't be enough as Artorias picks up the last kill with his knife. And now Spark and Propaganda, they're going to look towards the mid lane, I imagine. This is just a free tower mid, and NVision, they picked up everything that you said they needed to pick up for a good metric, and they picked up more besides.
Yeah, they broke the base on top of that. They got the out towers, and they still have time left on this Baron. They might be looking for more with 2 members of Barrage Retirement Home down. Might be a little bit risky because there are some low HP bars.
I think they're going to play it safe. Artorias is in the top side. They need to be creating a little bit of pressure to prevent him being forced away. As you see, they leave mid, so he has to leave top.
Yeah, they go for that Cloud Drake, and yeah, as I said, the metric for me is if you break those out of towers, you're doing fine. That's sort of expected. Anything less is a bit disappointing. Yeah. Anything more is great. They exceeded that. They broke the base in the bot lane. That's going to be there for a pretty significant time, longer than the next Baron. And you've seen Artorias was able to solo kill Governor. Normally in a matchup like this, you just want Governor to hold out, clear the waves up, and then he can assist in team fights and be a menace. But now he's going to be the one dealing with super minions in the bot lane. And you've just seen him have an issue against Artorias. The alternative is you send Varao.
Yes.
And that would do better in the 1v1, I believe. But the issue with that is that you no longer have that Kayle ult to extend the engage. You've seen so much engage from NVision on the back of Antero. If someone dies while Varao is TPing in, you will likely just lose a team fight off that. So it's a really tough call to make. And NVision have put Barrage into a really difficult position on the back of their last Baron. You can look at the item breakpoints, some massive ones coming in for the side of NVision, but finally, level 13 has been hit by... Spark. That was aggressive. But it burns the ultimate from Jakamaka, and it shows how confident he can be. He's got a stopwatch going towards that Zhonya's, and the item discrepancy is huge. And level 13's been hit by Governor, but there's no items he can upgrade on his team. There's no Rabadons, no Zhonya's, no Infinity Edge, and now Varao's in trouble.
Overextended, the Cataclysm comes down as Antero might be in trouble, though. It's going to be charmed up and it's going to go into Resurrection with that GA. But Artorias on the top side does get the tower. Antero does manage to flash away. Scoot once again just easily repels the ultimate from Nautilus, but there will be kills for Spark. Bartiona forced away as Scoot is forced to flash. Artorias on the top side looking to fight against Governor once again. Not having the best of it this time round, though. Will be forced back a little bit, but the mid tower will be cracked, will be destroyed, and now the inhibitor is on the menu for NVision as they look to finish up this base.
They're just going through it the hard way. They're not needing the second Baron. They're looking for the fight, but Barrage, can they contest this?
They have to contest 2 inhibitors as the engage looks for Propaganda. They get the stun down onto Governor. He's taking a decent amount of damage. Will go down to Spark in the end as the Bartiano jumping away. That's all the inhibitors going down after that fight as well. Artorias will be in trouble. Vrao is chasing him back with Bartiano in support. A couple more autos would be enough to do it, but he does manage to get away.
Vrao flashed in place. A little bit rough, but a really solid performance coming out from NVision. They didn't even need that second Baron. They got all 3 inhibitors. I mean, at this point, the game is just theirs to lose. And I feel like, you know, they got that, NVision got that initial Baron. We said the metric we wanted them to hit. They've exceeded it, and I mean, we're going for a pause, but I likely see the end of the game coming soon. The fact that they have 2 choices, they can just try and shove their super minion waves in, and it's just too much from the handle, or Baron's up very soon, they can just pick that up, and it's going to do the job for them. So a lot of mistakes coming out from Barrage Retirement Home, a lot of overextensions, and I just feel like you're playing a composition where you're waiting for a point you're never going to reach. You're waiting for level 16 on the Kayle, you're waiting for the Ornn to hand out items to everyone, you're waiting for Xayah to be a monstrous crit carry you can chunk through people. Never going to happen.
I think I want to touch on Vrao real quick, because it seems to be telling how much he's overextending. And there seems to be just a lot of mistakes coming out from this player, who we came into this looking at it and saying, okay, Vrao might be the strongest performer from this roster. But in this game, I would say weak point in the game.
Yeah, I'd agree. I feel like the pick and draft was a weak point. I feel like opting to go for the Kale as opposed to Kiana. You have scaling already to go toe-to-toe. Oh, we got a flip. That was fun.
We were in the upside down. It's Halloween, ladies and gentlemen.
In the upside down, the only place where Barrage Retirement Home can bring this fight, bring this game back.
Oh, we're going to say, in the upside down, the only place where Frau would play well this game. But there's a quick kill picked up. Bartiano has managed to get one, actually, but then we're going to see Scooge fall. It looks like this could be the cleanup fight that we asked for. Governor is going to get out of that one, as is Frau, but it's a double kill already for Spark. That's his 10th kill of the game. He's been on incredible form as they look to push and break the base. Frau managing once again to dodge away. That's quite nice from the KO. But 4 members of NVision are looking to break open the base. They are looking to grab the game for themselves. Can Retirement Home defend? There goes the first inhibitor tower. They look for the engage onto Frau, who will be forced to use ultimate immediately as Spark looks to burst through. Governor going low himself, but is on Spark, who will go down. It's a 1-for-1 trade there. But Governor's the last man standing. He will fall. And NVision are looking to pick up the Nexus and their first win in this series.
Just convincing. Really solid performances. Artorias looked great on the gangplank. Was not only going toe-to-toe with Governor, but managed to find loads of kills. Spark looked like a monster. There were a couple of little issues. They're definitely not flawless, but NVision looked good. And Barrage Retirement Home, I feel like the game plan was off, first and foremost. Okay. I feel like too heavily emphasis on scaling, especially when you've given Scoo this Elise, and you normally see him do so much, and he's playing around a team composition where it's like, right, we're waiting for a lot more. And something I've highlighted that I think is really important is to free up your mid laner and get them to move. And the problem was they made the right call to move Bartiano up there, but all that did was relieve pressure. It didn't allow Vrau to move elsewhere and apply pressure. It was still Mad My Day who was making more impact around the map. And as a result, they just sort of fell apart.
Yeah, and a question for you, I think, is important. So you talked a lot about this composition, how it didn't really work. If you were to sub in any champion into that mid lane except the Kale, I think the people at home would be really interested to know, what would you put there?
It's Kiana. It's like a no-brain. I can understand that Syndra can sometimes be an issue.
Yes.
But I mean, I feel like the thing with Kiana is like she's so strong, she's so mobile. It's easy to dodge away from the stun. You're a monster in team fights because you're ult.
Yeah.
The trading power onto the Syndra is just absolutely huge. I feel like if you don't want to go that super heavy assassin, you don't have to. There are other options, but I feel like just pick something that's going to go toe-to-toe with the Syndra and have priority. You could even take in something that we've seen from other teams like the LeBlanc. Yeah. You can threaten the immobility. LeBlanc's and Elise is really threatening to a Syndra because she's got no mobility. And then once you've caused, you don't even have to kill the Syndra. Just burn a flash or put a low, and then she has to back away. And then you're like, right, we're now going to move as a 2-man unit. LeBlanc Elise. Any lane where a LeBlanc Elise turns up, you're just like, oh god.
There are kills there to be had.
Exactly. And I feel like that would have been the difference maker because it was so out of sync to have this Elise and this Kale. Especially since Elise, I would have understood more if it was something like, even like a Lee Sin or like a Rek'Sai, where they want to go in and they have the follow-up from the shield. But it just felt like these two champions were out of sync because Elise fires the cocoon, does a burst rotation, and then jumps in. It's like, but you already have the repel. That is your safety tool. You don't need extra safety. And it meant that like you didn't have a good mid-jungle combo. In the late game, the Elise was useless. In the early game, the Kale was useless. And at the end of the day, you just fell apart.
Just useless all over in that mid lane area. But one thing I do want to highlight a little bit on the NVision side, something they need to work on, in my opinion, is don't Nautilus ult the Elise every fight because she can just repel it.
Yeah.
It was every single fight was just Nautilus ult onto Elise. I
feel like you can hold it more because like when the Jarvan Cataclysm comes in, Nautilus ulting your Elise is basically you hoping that she's going to be, well, one, it's trying to CC chain her, which isn't always guaranteed.
Yes.
Or two, it's you hoping that, he accidentally misclicks and doesn't repel. I feel like it's not a good sort of precedent to set because even if there's someone ahead of the Elise, you can ult them and then it'll ult through them. And then Elise still has to repel, but your ult's not wasted. Or you save it for a situation where someone's troublesome. But either way, I agree. But so that's game one. We do see NVision pull ahead. Both the teams that have come down from the UKLC doing pretty promisingly.
They're
but still,
looking good.
We have 3 full days of games. There is a loser's bracket, so even if Barrage Retirement Home do lose this one, they'll still have a chance to fight back. But as we said, it's a best of 3. Still a potential for them to redeem themselves, and we will get to see that after the break.